Good evening. I suppose it's appropriate that I begin this at 9:11 p.m. or 9:11. It doesn't matter if it's a.m. or p.m. And the truth is, until 9 o'clock or thereabout, I had no idea what I was going to talk about. I'd been thinking about it for the last while. Uh, and anyway, this is what I came up with. The title is For Those Who Only Feel Sad or Angry. One of my workshop and Facebook friends posted a comment that most of her life she has only felt two emotions, sad or angry. As I've wondered what to talk about in my next video, this resonates with me. Frankly, I don't want to talk about it, which is exactly why I must. I don't even know where it will go. I just feel it's important. Maybe it's important for me, but maybe it's important for someone else. I do know that I had hoped that today I would be able to talk about what happened in Indonesia yesterday. The truth of the matter is, I saw a lot of pictures. I understand that something was signed. I don't know the significance of that. I don't know what it's going to mean to me, to the world, or anything else, which makes me sad. Today was an unusual day. I had one of my Facebook friends who lives in the state of Maryland, was in Miami over the weekend, and was driving back north today and contacted me to have lunch with me. And then when she and her friend and her doggie arrived at my house around noonish, they opened the back car door and the dog ran out and ran away. And it took an hour, maybe longer, for them to find the dog. And by that time, it was too late for them to have lunch, so they drove off. But I did get to meet Kathy, one of my Facebook friends, and Yosef, another one of my friends. I don't know if he's actually my friend. He's only seen one of my videos so far, but Kathy's watched a lot of my videos. And every once in a while, I do get to meet one of my Facebook friends who happens to be in Florida and stops by to say hello and give me a hug. And I like that, although it was a little disappointing that we didn't get to go and sit down. And she did give me an angel card reading while she was here. And my card drawn was focus, and hers was self-awareness. Anyway, last night I went to hear my son's, well, not my son's band play. Actually, I went to hear my son play, but it's funk night. And what funk night is a whole bunch of musicians gather, and they make improvisational bands, groups of musicians that get together to play for 12 minutes. Sometimes there's vocals, sometimes it's just instrumental, but they jam together. And some of it's really good, and some of it's, not as good as it might be, but there's people at all different levels of achievement and skill at playing their instruments. And that's fine. I mean, it's a place to rehearse, but actually I went there hoping that someone that I had met in that same location back in the middle part, a little bit earlier than the middle part. Yeah, it was the middle part of February. I was hoping she'd be there because I had a very nice conversation with her, but she wasn't there last night. And the last time I went, she wasn't there either, even though she indicated that she wanted to get together again and gave me what I thought were strong clues. She's not responded to only one of my emails, and I've sent a couple more since then, back in February, and that was February 18th to be exact, and I've heard nothing back from her, and sadness. It's not the first time something like that's happened. In fact, it's happened a lot in my life, that I think someone shows interest and might actually live close by and be able to spend some time maybe doing fun things together. But most of the time, quite honestly, I feel sad, just like my friend who said, I have always been one of those people that go out of their way to not feel what they are feeling. I only have two modes, sad or angry, and everything falls in those two categories. Makes it easy for me that way. I don't have to really define or understand or feel any of my feelings. Even worse, I don't have to acknowledge them. I don't have to say, that really hurt my feelings. I can be pissed off instead. I don't have to say I was disappointed. I can just be sad with no hope of fixing it. I wondered as I read that, is that me too? One of my other friends commented on that thread. I do exactly the same thing, only I don't even have the self-respect to know that I'm pissed. I just pretend that all is well. A lot of people just pretend that all is well. And if you were to ask me most of the time how I'm doing, I would say fine or okay, which from the workshop we know fine as a as an acronym. Yeah, up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. And okay is not a feeling, neither is fine a feeling. But if you really wanted to get down and probe, what are you really feeling? Sad comes up for me a lot. Anger sometimes, but sad a lot. Sad is something that I think a lot of humans feel. I've known people even in relationships that seem sad. And the truth of the matter is I've been in relationships where I felt totally alone and very sad. This just is the reality. Because life on this planet has been not very easy. Not easy at all. It's been a challenge upon a challenge upon a challenge. And if you don't think so, I wonder why. Now, there's a lot of people that put on the happy face. There's a lot of people that say the positive affirmations. There's a lot of people that go around with a happy-go-lucky feeling. And I often wonder, are they telling the truth? Because the truth is, for me, I don't feel that way most of the time. It's actually much more rare for me to feel happy than it is to feel sad. Much more rare. Happiness is a rarity. I do experience it. I can't say that I don't. I do experience love. I can't say I often experience bliss. I'd like to. I can remember times when I did, but they too are rare. Again, sadness is very, very common with me. Probably my most dominant of all feelings. The one that would characterize the truth for me the majority of the time. Sometimes I'm angry. I'm always angry at injustice. I'm always angry at the system. The system engenders anger. Not fear so much as anger. Yeah, there's fear too, but anger is the greater than the fear because injustice shouldn't be. It's wrong for the world to be unjust. It's wrong for the universe to be unjust. Wherever the blame is or should be, it's simply wrong. Justice should be a right of being. Justice simply means telling the truth and not being punished for it. Not being punished for anything, any feeling. The only thing that you should be punished for is when you violate someone else's free will, when you intentionally harm another. Then there should be punishment rendered. But other than that, all violence is a result of unanswered anger or repressed anger exploding. Learning to deal with our emotions is probably one of the most challenging things that we do as human beings. And yet, emotions are so vitally important as I see it, because our thoughts are inadequate to co-create with or to create with. It's thought plus feeling creates the demonstration, creates the result. The feeling is what energizes it and fleshes it out. It's what makes the experience real. It's the feeling. And yet many of us, because we feel bad so often, we shut down our feelings. And yet I've seen in workshops again and again that underneath all the anger, underneath all the sadness and even the bitterness, there's still the ability to love. And that comes out in every workshop. It's part of what the workshop is. It's to show people that underneath all the negative emotions that have been repressed and suppressed, and the emotions that you've judged and society judges as not being acceptable, when we are given permission to tell the truth and release that energy that's been pent up inside of us, miracles happen. And the miracle is that we're able to give and receive love, even if only for the Sunday in the workshop, in the love line and the other things that take place on Sunday during the workshop. Anyway, I trust that some people might identify with what I'm saying and might be willing to tell the truth. I'm a big proponent of telling the truth. You know that. I'm a big proponent of being authentic. I'm not a very strong proponent of hypocrisy or of faking it till you make it. I absolutely don't like that kind of teaching. I've never liked it. To me, it's wrong. It doesn't heal. It only hides the truth. And when we hide the truth, we're imprisoned by the lie, by the cover-up. And that's how our world works. It's all lies. It's all cover-up. It's all make-believe. It's all pretense. It's a sham. It's a fraud. It's a crime against our own being. It's natural, as I see it, to feel sadness, living in a world such as we live in, where there's so much pain. Now you say, Ron, why focus on that? There's a lot of good in the world too. Yes, there is, but not nearly as much as there is that's awful and horrendous. Now we can choose to focus on the narrow parameter, but will that actually heal anything? I'm sorry. I don't buy the teaching that says only focus on the good things. I don't buy that because it's a denial. And denial, as I've said recently, is the root of psychopathy. The pretense is the root of our hypocrisy. It's the root of what makes this world phony rather than authentic. And I'd like to encourage you to be authentic, because even though you might feel sad a lot, even though you might get angry, ultimately you're going to be liberated, because truth liberates. Life, light and life and laughter and love liberate us, the 4 L's that God gave me a long time ago in one of my bliss experiences, when he held me, or it felt as if God was holding me. And the room filled up with light, even though it was the middle of the night. And life, love, and laughter came out of that light. And I knew that that's what was important. But I know that the way to get there is to be honest, to be genuine in your expression. Get to know what you feel and tell the truth about it. Tap into your feelings, even if it breaks your heart to do so, as it sometimes breaks mine. But there's coming a day when the tears will be wiped from our eyes. There's coming a day when there will be celebration, when the good that has long been withheld is finally released. Maybe Swiss Indo plays a role in that, maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. I'd like to believe it does. That's why I've dedicated a good chunk of the past year to working with that and to focus a lot of attention on a remedy that I hope works for a lot of people and ultimately for the whole world. But I don't know. Until things break loose, I will feel a lot of sadness, I imagine. Not because I want to, but because that's where the world is. That's the energy of the mass consciousness. And I don't want to be happy when most of the world is sad. Maybe that's selfish of me. But I think it's much more selfish if I choose to be happy when everybody else is sad. Now, I'm going to probably get a lot of criticism for that. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, this is a weird talk. I'm anxious to listen to it and see if it makes sense to me when I listen for the first time. But I'm going to go with it no matter what, because this is where I am in this moment. These are my feelings, and I've shared them with you. Thank you for listening. Namaste.